What's up, idiots? It's me, Corvy. I've been doing this thing for like 2 weeks now. Basically, what I want to do is every Friday I've been coming together. I've been making a presentation for Twitch chat and for you guys here over YouTube, and I've been running through a random fact. Last week, it was corn. This week, it's milk. Enjoy my presentation. Have a good one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Much appreciated. Try not to cringe too hard.
Nice shot!
Welcome Twitch chat. My name is Corvy. Today is the second Fact Friday. Forget the fact that it is a Tuesday. Second Fact Friday. Favorite day of the week. Today, we're going to be doing a presentation on milk and all the factoids and information about milk that you may need in your everyday life. Even if you don't think you need it, trust me, after this, you'll be like, how did I live my life without all this information on milk? The most drunk products in the world. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe water is? I didn't even look that up. That's just a factoid off the Strait of the Dome. So that one's for free, actually. All right, let's start us off, guys. Let's start us off. How did milk get started? And where did milk begin? Dairy got a start on what is now Turkey in about 8,000 BCE. So before refrigeration, before ways of cooling the milk, the first milk was turned into yogurts, cheeses, and butter. As people and cattle migrated, also, people began to gather and gain a genetic mutation in themselves, which later began to be called lactose intolerance. We made ourselves sick by drinking milk the incorrect way, and it has become what it is today, and people are born with this genetic mutation. Kind of interesting. American colonists originally brought cattle across the Atlantic, and then that also increased the genetic mutation to spread to the rest of the world. Slide 2, pasteurization. It's the method of destroying harmful bacteria through heat. Louis Pasteur in 1864 invented and made its first impact on wine and beer. For pasteurization, to get rid of all the nasty stuff in wines and in beers, so it can be like drunk by all those people in those days who were like crazy on the wines and on the beers. In 1864, Louis Pasteur, great name, Louis Pasteur, that's why it's called pasteurization, because of Louis Pasteur. In 1864, announced the thing for wine and beer. 20 years later, a German scientist named Franz von Scholet proposed applying this process to milk. In 1908, Chicago began to be the first place to require pasteurization for all milk that was sold in America. Michigan became the first to enact a very similar law in 1948. And in 40 years later, so in 1987, the rest of the world, or the rest of the country of America at least, which is documented here, could be the rest of the world, who knows, finally made it a national standard to have all milk pasteurized for sale. Milk can be taken from other things and not just cows. Yes, there is milk that can be gathered and sold and drunk from other sources, not just cows. Crazy to know. Also, humans is on the list, but I didn't put it there for obvious reasons of you weirdos thinking of mummy's milkies. I didn't want that to be anywhere in this slideshow, but now I've said it, it is out there. So obviously, we can get milk from cows. That's number one. Number two, this is the top list, by the way, of milks. So number one, the most consumed milk is cow's milk. Second, goat's milk. Third most consumed milk, you would think, oh, it's another animal milk. No, it's almond milk. Cashew, oat, coconut, soy is all the way down the bottom. And last on my list of most popular milks is hemp milk. Interesting. Please read the tip. I found that one out the hard way, but that's a friendly tip for you guys. The ancient Hebrews held milk in high favor. The earliest Hebrew scriptures found abundant evidence of widespread milk of early times. The Old Testament, so this is in the Bible, refers to a land which floweth with milk and honey. This was quoted in the same spectrum 20 times. So in the Bible, they loved their milkies and their honeys. Another interesting fact here, just adding some more onto the favorite histories of milk. The first cattle to arrive in the New World landed in Veracruz, Mexico in 1525. Another thing that I stumbled across was the Milk War. Yes, the New York Milk War. It was a struggle known as the Milk War. It broke out between milk farmers and producers. You still see remnants of the dreaded Milk War today. Yes, that is right. So there is a distillery in New York that was proposing to sell milk at a low margin, which would cut the amount that the milkies the milk farmers would actually end up gaining. So this caused a rivalry between the producers and distillers of milk, which carries out through this day. Basically, at the end, the milk farmers ended up winning because no one wanted to purchase milk for lower if they knew that it was going to hurt the farmers. This is happening to this day. We see this all the time with Coles and farmers' brand milks. True. I just thought it was funny that they labeled this in history as the Milk War. I don't know, it's just, I thought it was hilarious, so we ended that. Alright. Oh, I need to change the slide, give me a sec. Milk life hacks, things you can use for milk. Let me quickly move my camera for this slide alone. Milk life hacks. Make frozen fish taste fresh. If you get fish, and you prepare fish, and you wash it in a milk, it gets rid of that fishy smell and taste. So usually if you're going to bread some milk, you would like wash it, put it in milk, some breadcrumbs, and it'll taste great. Clean, soft hands, soften hands in milk. You can see this, a lot of products like soaps are made from milk. This one I thought was interesting and had to be added because of last Fact Friday. Boost corn on the cob flavor with milk. That one's great. Repair cracked china in milk. You've seen the videos on Facebook. They're 100% legit. Polish silverware. If you don't have any polishing stuff, a little bit of milkies on that. Perfectly. Comes up pristine. Soothe sunburn and bug bites. Cold milk. Straight on. Gives good. This one made me laugh. Use milk and give yourself a facial. That was hilarious. And soften skin also can be used to bathe animals to make them not smell as bad. If you're like going in a competition, you have a piggy, you bathe the piggy in a kind of milk, like an oat-like thingy. And yeah, that's another life hack for milk. Let me also just move it back up for this slide. More random milk facts. Now this one is interesting. Frogs were put in milk to keep from going sour. In ancient Russia, and even more recently, a single frog was placed in milk in order to keep it from going sour. Oddly enough, it worked. What's more, scientists who studied this preservation technique discovered several new antibiotics in doing so. So frogs, putting them in milk to consume later, these ancient Russians are insane, they actually found out new antibiotics in doing this through the chemicals released via the frog's skin. Milk can be used into bioplastics. Yes, milk can be used into some plastics. It's possible to make an odorless, biodegradable, and anti-static plastic that's insoluble in water. PA or Pennsylvania, it is illegal to use milk crates for anything other than milk. If you're seen stacking milk crates outside in Pennsylvania, you will get a $300 fine, or even spending up to 90 days in jail for using milk crates for anything other than milk. I would assume that if you're carrying orange juice, straight to jail. Bitch, don't pass go. Myth busting. Some random milk facts that they try to lead you to believe. Some propaganda out there with milk. This is true. Milk does not build strong bones. Anyone who tells you that milk does build strong bones, or the calcium in milk makes you stronger, makes you not break bones, they're idiots, and so are you for believing them. Alright, one large-scale Harvard study followed 72,000 women for 2 decades, 20 years, 72,000 people, and found no evidence that drinking milk can prevent bone fractures or osteoporosis. Another study of more than 96,000 people that found that the more you drunk milk, the more likely you are to have microfractures compared to the people who drunk less milk. 96,000 people. So, does it make your bones stronger? No. Does it make your bones more likely if you drink loads of milk to have micro stress fractures? Yes. Myth busted. That's a factoid. Stop drinking milk today. You will end up dying. And to wrap it up. Oh, I need to go back. And to wrap it up, I found this fact on cows. I thought this was hilarious. There is one cow or bull for every 3.5 people on the planet. Yeah, that is correct. For every one person... Wait, for every 3 people, or almost 4 people, there is about 1 cow for every 4 people. Interesting fact. Those cows are not all used for milk, of course. Some are for pets, and some are mainly used for meat. But I find it absolutely fascinating, the fact there is more cows than people in most areas of the world, which is fantastic. So if the major cities of China or Indonesia, where the human population is very dense, without those, there would be more cows than people. Insane. All right, so that is my presentation on milk and milk-related factoids. History of milk. Thank you for watching. I love milkies. And so should you. Corvy's milk is when you get milk, normal milk, in a glass, and you put sugar in it. Sugar and milk, that's all you need. And that, my friend, is Corvy's milk. Why is it called dairy? I don't fucking know. That one's from Six Chicks. Why is it called dairy? I don't know. I didn't come across any reasoning for it to be called dairy. I'm guessing that milk-related products are called dairy because of Sir Francis Dairy. A question from P. Is there a scientific milk that should be used for the facials? I was thinking man milk. That's nut milk. Would that be good? I can see where you're going with this. I would think for like facials, like nuts and nut milk could be interesting. But I think more of like an oat milk, because it's more grainy, would be better for facial-related issues. And no, semen doesn't count as milk, before you ask. Twitch chat, you degenerates. Is there anyone else that has any questions? Happy to answer them, as your resident milk and corn expert. Now, happy to answer any more questions, except anything about why is it called dairy, because I have no idea. That is a Google Andy. Unfortunately, I don't have any idea. A question from 6 here. Bag milk or real milk? Interesting. I did some research on artificial milk. The information I found on artificial milk was just boring, because it's just basically milk, but they dry it and make it a powder. So that's bagged milk, basically. It's just milk, but dried and turned into not milk. And then you add water to rehydrate it, so it's kind of boring on a fact. I was going to also talk about baby powder and formula and how they're artificially doing it, but I felt like that's a tinfoil hat situation. I didn't want to end up doing that kind of thing. Condensed milk. You want to talk about condensed milk? All right. Well, take a seat. Condensed milk. I don't know what about condensed milk, actually. How do they make powdered milk? It's just dried milk. That's pretty much it. They just dry milk and then scrape it and then add chemicals to it. So when you rehydrate it with water, it tastes okay. Condensed milk? I have no idea how they make condensed milk. I'm sure they just get it out of really small and short cows, is what I would believe. Same with milkshakes. Just have tiny fences with longer grass on the other side, and when the cows jump over the fence to get to the longer grass, you milk them immediately. Are you a full cream milk, skim milk, or something else kind of guy? That's an interesting question. Because for the majority of my life, I have been a full milk only, and any kind of milk, I would laugh at you, spit at you, or kick you in the shins kind of guy. But more recently, light milk is my go-to, just because not as fatty. That's it. And as I'm getting older, my metabolism is slowing down, so I need to have the less fatty milks because El Corverino pack on pounds otherwise. How do you feel about the mass cow deaths happening in Kansas at the moment? There's mass livestock deaths all over the world, but I did some research and there was lightning-related deaths in parts of America. I don't know if this is related to the Kansas ones or not, but cows are more susceptible to heart attacks due to lightning-related things. So in storms, they get like stress heart attacks, which is strange to me. But I don't know if that's in Kansas or not, but livestock deaths in Australia due to fire and floods. Livestock deaths in America due to fire, floods, and lightning, which is interesting. I think that's going to be it for the questions. Hopefully I can answer any more. If you guys have any milk-related, not only cows, but milk-related questions, I'll be happy to answer them. But I think I've touched on most of your guys' questions. And if I can answer it, I'll do my best. A question from 6. which is going to be the second last question. I'll take one more question after 6th question. Is dairy milk safe to drink from birth? In the 1600s, when pasteurized milk wasn't a thing yet, they did make babies drink milk when there wasn't any humans about to give the baby the tit milk, but it's only because they rather the kid get sick than they would rather the kid die of starvation. So with that information, now I think if you just gave it cow milk, they wouldn't probably get the right nutrients and they'll probably get sick and die. Just go out and get some other milk, dude. Don't give them like full cream milk, like skim, whatever. Don't do that. Just give them whatever they need for nutrients reasons. Because they only gave cow milk to kids in the forever ago times because they would rather them eat something and get sick than just fucking keel over and die. Last question from P6211. Why is it socially unacceptable to not to drink breast milk? Technically, all milk is breast milk, but I'm guessing you're moving towards the titty milk situation. Why isn't it? I don't know, but I would happily vote for someone who is an advocate for the advocate use of milkies in everyday life. Like I said in one of the slides, I had to find out the hard way that being a 26-year-old man and asking for mummy's milkies in your coffee is not socially acceptable. Granted, I did it as a dare, but it's apparently not socially acceptable and they look at you weird. I don't know why. Personally, I think it should be. What can I say? Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. No more questions. I'm happy that you guys are very interested in finding out more about milk, but please refer to any more questions over to the internet. This has been Corvy. Thanks for joining my presentation and enjoying my presentation. I'll leave you guys later to enjoy the rest of my stream, where we'll probably end up just playing League of Legends and hanging out or playing another video game. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you, thank you. I'll be back in 5 minutes to return to the regular stream. Thank you, everybody.